Coach Fatimah.
And now we're live on YouTube too. So, peace, Coach Nazir. We're going to just do a short question and answer today to really address a few different questions that we get asked when it comes to polygyny, when it comes to differing dynamics and whatnot. So if you are on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, no problem. Hope you subscribe to the channel, hit the alert button so when we go live, you get a quick email, you get a notification. So subscribe to that. Second, if you are on Facebook, so how you be, thank you, welcome, share. If you have any questions, post a number of question marks, and then whatever question. If you don't have any questions, you just want to see what we're going to talk about and answer them, no problem. Feel free to welcome and discuss. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you're tuning in from or whatnot. We promise we're going to be done soon. I guess we can't give a certain time because sometimes things get a little much. Nevertheless, again, welcome, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of good stuff. IG, you're a little far away from us, but we're trying to get everybody in the shot. They got to be difficult now to have you vertical. So it's all love. But yeah, so our handles and everything is Outstanding Personal Relationships. So IG is Outstanding Relationships because Outstanding Personal Relationships is too long. All right, and again, it's the shopping season. In case y'all have any questions about different discounts and all stuff we have going on, outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/store. is where we at. And if you're on our email list, you'll get different coupon codes and different things that we're with anyway. So with that, I'm going to share some as my wives take over and address different concerns, questions, and there's so I'm going to share on my end because everybody knows that sharing is.
One of the questions we get a lot and we get answered often is, do we live together? We do not live together. We have our own residences that we have. So, our husband likes to say that, and it's true, that the queens need their own space. And we do, and it works for us. There's a lot of people in our family, a lot of children, a lot of bonus babies, and alhamdulillah, they need a lot of space. So, we're going to get to, and again, if you have questions, put question marks before the questions so they're easily identifiable. IG, if you have questions, one of us, likely me, I'll get up and go check and see what questions are on IG.
The depression and suicidal ones that we got.
Someone was saying this was their first time catching us live. So congratulations on that.
Steph, Islam, Club Cats. Where you tuning in from, by the way? What country, what state, where you at?
And if you have a question.
Yeah, we got a bunch, so we just need to.
No, I mean,
oh, yeah, no doubt. Or her. Steph. Oh, no.
Okay. We've had a question come in with regards to, excuse me, a family within polygyny, and the husband married, well, in polygyny, of course, because he married the second wife. However, the initial wife was not happy, not pleased. She, knew that he wanted to be in polygyny and things like that, but he wasn't. She just wasn't happy. She wasn't happy with it. She had an issue with it and things like that, and it was causing some issues where he ended up marrying the second wife. He ended up marrying the second wife, and before he told his initial wife, and pretty much let her know about it. She still wasn't happy about it. Second wife, she wants things to be cool, cordial, calm, everything like that. However, decided because the first wife wasn't okay with it, that they divorced. That they divorced for the inner period and things like that, and to give her some time to accept it. And so now it's getting close to the end of that, and she's asking for some type of advice of, how to, since it's coming time to the end of it, how do you ask the wife or the initial wife or get the initial wife to come to terms or be understanding of the marriage?
You want to go first?
Oh, yeah. First of all, this is it's a weird question, okay? Because that's divorce. Divorce is divorce, okay? And if you wanted the divorce, you signed to divorce, then you're in the divorce process. So what happens with a divorce is that the husband must choose not to divorce and accept or take it back. That's that. It has nothing to do with the other wife. See, in polygyny, your marriage to each of these women is your marriage to each of these women. The women are not married to each other. They don't need to be friends. They don't need to do any of that stuff. Nobody need to approve. It does not have to happen. Ideally, it is best practices since you're married to the same person, know each other, minimally be cordial and have respect, but your individual marriages are your individual marriages. Whether somebody likes it, whether your mother or mother-in-law likes it, your father-in-law, your children like it, that does not matter regarding the success of your marriage. If you've already entered into a divorce and you're coming at the end of the it-die period and asking us for a Hail Mary, first of all, we Muslims, so we don't Hail Mary anyway. Even though I was just using it in the sports analogy. So with that being said, that you need to talk to your husband about taking you back and working on your marriage. Stop worrying about somebody else accepting your marriage. All right, that may take time. They may never accept it, but what does that have to do with the quality and success of your marriage when you're married to someone in polygyny? All right, that's I think Coach Nyla this month is going to be sharing some information and a training about it's called the second wife syndrome or something like that, or the less than syndrome that is common amongst incoming wives. They usually a lot of times put themselves less than and make unnecessary some weird decisions. Again, it's not something unexpected. When I say weird, it's not an insult. It's just I've never heard of somebody say, okay, well, I'm getting a divorce, and then during the time she's going to be cool with it. No, actually, she's probably really happy that that's the point and is absolutely getting stronger and more firm on it. Probably has a celebration day when the die period is over. I don't know. So, but that's something that you voluntarily went into. That's not, I don't think that's wise at all, period.
Well, I just want to say as an initial wife, I think that a lot of initial wives can come from this place and have this tone, and I'm not saying this specific person has it, this place of privilege, that one must have approval so that someone else can move forward on their life or their goals in their life. And that attribute you don't get. You don't get to dictate to somebody else how they move within their own life. Now, however, if it affects you, yes, best practice is to have a conversation. But you can have a conversation, still be unhappy, not have a conversation, still be unhappy. Period. So it's a decision. You really, in all honesty, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. But you cannot do both things, So, but you don't get a say. Like as an initial wife, I stay in my lane because I have enough going on in my lane. Okay, that I need to watch for. So I don't get in other people's marriages, just like I don't get into marriages of my friends or my relatives. That's their business, and their marital business is not mine. So I just needed to say that as an initial wife. Stay in your lane.
I mean, that's the thing when we talk about over and over again, minding your marriage.
Yeah.
When it comes to polygyny, as Coach Nazir talked about before, he's married to these multiple wives. So, like we say in our number of our trainings, like he's monogamously married, to Coach Fatimah. He's monogamously married to me. So when that comes into play and you look at that, you should keep the mindset of minding your marriage and saying, you know what, I'm going to work on my marriage just as well as, I would assume that they will work on theirs. Just like Coach Fatimah said, it's not, trying to put your thoughts and ideas and the way you think that it's supposed to be on somebody else's marriage. Focus on yours, and they focus on theirs and build it from there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
One marriage shouldn't break another.
Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Huda from Uganda. And Hanifa from Philly.
Awesome.
Paige has a question as well. And Krista from the Loop. What's going on, sis? How you be? All right, so Steph has a question. So Steph says, when looking for a potential spouse that is already married and works, how do you suggest your allotment of time work so it'd be fair and reasonable, and you also work? So looking for somebody who works, but you also have a work schedule as well.
I think that comes with scheduling the time.
Yeah, because it's customizable.
Yeah, it's customizable, scheduling the time, where when it comes down to it, that's the one thing that's kind of measurable, time and money, that's the fairness part. And, being able to work, being able to work it out and organize a time schedule where, you can spend that time together, that quality time together is pretty much, up to you and your spouse.
We've never met anyone that was in polygyny and they were practicing it exactly the same as the next family. I have never seen that before, because everybody has different professions, schedules, different size in families. So it's whatever is best for your family and for your marriage. We know some couples that one spouse is a doctor, and so those hours can be long. So you have to figure out what works with your schedule, like what Coach was saying. And you know the answer to that. You would know the answer to that, what goes on in your life and where you need to create some time. Because if we want to have time with each other, we find that time. We make that time. So.
And also don't expect it to be just, what you put already in place that is going to stay that way. You could just, it could change. It could change. And, just, I love that. Just, make sure that it works for, everybody involved. And, the fairness is, fairness and justice, that's the main thing.
Right. All right, quickly, one of the things that you saw me do, as I got up and I moved this easel over, is I just want to share with you, I just wrapped up a training for our RMIC members. All right, that's our relationship mastery inner circle members. We were live in this one. We're dealing with financial intelligence, financial health. So we'll show you just a few of the little eloquent, beautiful drawings that I did. Yes, that was a joke. Just, really in teaching and training. So in case you wanted to know, a little sneak peek of what's inside and whatnot, what we're doing. We're talking about financial intelligence. So we talk about the different quadrants that you can earn your income from, or 4 of those. We talk about your report card, your financial report card, and how this affects different parts of your life and how to put it together. Important. It's absolutely your report card, because they're not asking you what grades you got in college or in high school or anything else when you go into a bank or you start a business. Nobody's like, hey, you got your report card? No, they don't care. Anyway, we talk about different asset classes on how to have insurance or a hedge to protect what you already have. All right, we just went through a couple different examples and stuff like that of what we're doing personally. And then different ideas of different businesses as well. So, yeah, tell me, I see you holding it up. So with that being said, let me go and sit back and address another question. Just letting you know, because some people, they don't know. Oh yeah, if you want more information and want to join us, RMIC, then outstandingpersonrelationships.com/RM is where you can get that information. $77 a month is for those who are serious versus curious, those who recognize that the relationship is worth the investment to help develop and cultivate more fulfillment and happiness. So with that being said, now, and the reason I say that is very important, because you're looking at us now, we're talking, we're sharing this information. We're in pretty much chapter 10 of the book that we're writing. Not the literal physical book that we're writing. We're still on that. But I'm talking about we 10 years into polygyny. So if you're brand new, meaning like 1 to 3 years, that's new. So if you're new, don't compare your 1 to 3 years to 10. You may have it as a goal or a vision or something, however that looks for your family. But just know it still took us the time in a process to get to where we are. Okay, and that's what we're teaching and helping people with, especially when it comes to polygyny, even though, again, we're pro-morals. So whether that's monogamy, polygyny, or helping you grow personally as a single to go ahead and get involved and get married and whatnot. Very, very important. So again, outstandingpersonrelations.com/RM.
Once you're doing it consistently, and of course, like we said, that's our relationship mastery inner circle. We go, I would say we go live every month, but we do. We have a monthly mission, but we go live pretty much 4 weeks. I say 4 weeks a month because sometimes we have 5 weeks, let go. However, when you're consistent with doing the work, when you're consistent with growing, it's going to be, it might be rough at first, but once you get that momentum going, it seems easier and easier. Like if people ask us, and people have asked us, like, well, what was it like when you guys first met? Well, we really have to think back to how it looked because, we've been working so much on ourselves and on our relationships that it seems like a so distant. I mean, like far.
Long. Yeah. Finish. All right. So let me see. Paige says, this question is Coach Nyla. How did you manage to stay hopeful at the beginning of your marriage when things may not have seemed fair or just? I'm having a hard time, but I'm hopeful with plans my husband has. I understand it's bigger than just me, but I feel like I get lost in the dynamic. Shout out to the CPT.
City of Compton.
Oh my God, that's a great question. A lot of it is just, staying spiritually grounded. That's one of the main things. Knowing, working on myself, knowing my worth, being able to communicate, my feelings, my insecurities, those things like that, which is not always an easy thing to do because it expresses your vulnerability, and sometimes we just really don't want to be vulnerable because you don't know what that looks like. So, but being able to be, and that's the great thing about being in a marriage, that this is a person that you should be able to trust with your feelings. You should be able to trust with, your insecurities, these different things, and you be able to talk about these things and just build as it goes. So what kept me hopeful was just seeing the big picture. Like you said before, you're hopeful in it because you see this bigger picture, keeping that at the forefront. And always looking at looking at the growth. It don't have to be something super big, but knowing that everything is growing and everything is taking its time and its journey, and just working with that. It's not going to happen overnight, but with consistent love, support, care, communication, inshallah, it will happen. It will happen.
And as the husband, just to let you know, really as the man or the leader of the family, you have to really paint the vision and take actionable steps towards it. Okay. One of my challenges when I first was involved in polygyny is I know the spectrum. The spectrum is, all right, they don't have to be friends. They can be cordial and respectful, and that's fine. That's okay. All right, but that wasn't the ultimate goal or vision I had, period. But I didn't really express the ultimate goal and vision as often as I should have and needed to, and so on, in order for it to really gel and come together in a synergistic fashion. So, having the proper vision there for what you're looking for, and also whatever it may be. Again, there's so many different dynamics when it comes to time, or whether it comes to distance, whether or not you're living close, living farther away. Some people choose to live in the same house. We don't advise that, but some people do. Again, if it's just a small family, maybe an elderly couple or something, who knows? Allahu Akbar. But make sure you have the vision and you're working it and taking steps towards that. All right, because while you're taking those steps toward that, you're building the trust, you're sharing the vision, you're showing that you're doing what you need to do as a man and have more respect or earn more respect in that process. Inshallah. Hopefully that helps. New Orleans, who that? Rogers versus Breeze, let's see who that. All right, so for the husband, how do you manage your time for yourself? Well, we don't have enough time to talk about Well, one of the things though, one of the things that we do, you recognize that if you are a leader, that you have to serve, all right, and you serve more. So time for myself is like so low on the list that, you know, a haircut is time for myself. Getting to the gym is time for myself. Reading and investing in me, so that I can be better for the family and really leave legacy is time for myself. However, one of the things I do is we master the mornings. You know what I'm saying? So even though prayer comes in late right now, at the match day right now, we pray at 6:15 in the morning. That's relatively late. A couple weeks ago when I was in Egypt, it was 4:40 a.m. In the summertime where I am in the Midwest, the prayer comes in, it's like 3:15, 3:30 in the morning. So we master the mornings, period. So we get up before prayer, make our extra tahajjud or qiyam, and, you know, we pray. We about that rug life, right? So we pray, get that in, work out during that time, you get errands done at that time. It's amazing how many people are sleeping. And so it's peaceful when you get out, you can get to where you need to, get many things done early in the morning. You can work on yourself, you can work on your body, you can work on your brain, you can do all of this stuff before people even get up to be looking for coffee for their energy, versus you already have the proper energy because you focus on your sleep and eating right. All right, so time for myself really comes more during our family meetings. We have a weekly family meeting. That's where we all get together as a whole family, all in the same area, same spot. We share information with each other, highs of the week, lows of the week, how we're feeling, a number of different things. So that to me is the actualization of my vision. So when I sit back and I see my family and I see the coherence and I see the growth and I see my daughters doing this and learning this and understanding now and articulating what they didn't know at first, and then my wives gelling and everybody's just cool and my sons are playing, that's when I get the time for myself. That's what really helps re-energize me and see it going, because that's going to live beyond me. And even though that's a family meeting, I shared with them last week, this is not going to last in the way that it is right now. You know, I have one daughter that got married, alhamdulillah. I plan for other children to get married. They're going to go start their own individual families. And, you know, prayerfully, I live long enough to really see that. But there are going to be generations that will participate in that if they carry it on, like I pray they do, that they won't even know where it came from or how it looked initially. They'll have to look back at the videos using whatever technology they have in the future, inshallah, to really see something like that. All right, so that warms my heart enough to know that I still got to do a whole lot more. I have to empower more people, really share this with them and get the message out. And that's one of the reasons that we encourage people, one, to get serious about it, to learn more, to join our Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, to look at our memberships that we have on YouTube. It's not at $5. Why? Because it's helping us further the message at the same time. All right, so prayerfully that helps. So I don't have just a me time or me day, but my wives also do stuff for me as well. So they make stuff easy as well. They like, slow down, you got to stop, you got to rest, you have to do this, let's eat. You know, we eat together and we do a number of different things and stuff together. It's like, all right, come here, let me clip your nails or whatever it may be or something. So, you know, you slow down like that as well. So hopefully that helps.
Someone asked, how could they be a better wife to their husband? And I would say, listen to
Wait, let's read the whole quote. Okay, that's important.
Okay, good.
She said, I don't practice your religious beliefs, but I do believe in polygyny. My amazing husband has another wife, and I'm fine with that. What piece of advice can you give me to be a better wife to my husband? That's super dope.
Okay,
By the way. All right. Yes.
All right.
You may
I
proceed.
may go now. I was going to say that no matter what the question was, I think it's fitting that we respect our husbands and listen to how they feel. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but don't rob him of how he feels. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if he wants to talk to you about polygyny, be open to have the conversation, is what I'm saying. And you might ask some scary questions and get some scary answers, but at least the lines of communication are open. You know, it's got to be the worst feeling in the world to want to talk to somebody and you love them and you can't. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a man. You know, well, I can't talk about that or I'm going to get shut down, you know? So if we have intentions to talk to each other, let's listen and let's let people feel how they feel and tell us their truth and not make it how we want it to sound or be, you know, because then you're robbing them of how they feel about it.
Yeah. Be a better wife, you know what their love languages are. You know, just like Coach Fatimah said, you know, listen, you know, realize that men actually do have feelings. And I'm saying that because I was in the mindset, it was like, You know what? They're very logical. So, it's not the emotion. They don't have these emotions like we do. They don't have emotions like we do, or express them the way we do. That doesn't mean that they don't have them. So, those type of things, I can't, just harp on that enough. What Coach Fatimah said about listening, because sometimes they will tell you, and listening means not just hearing so they can stop talking or hearing what you want to hear. The thing is, they may be saying it in a totally different way that you may not catch, but be open enough to listen in a way where it could be their actions. It could be something like, hey, you're always doing this, but man, and it could be these things of saying, oh, I miss you. So, instead of saying, or somebody wants you to fix them something to eat, and you're like, well, I just did this. They may want your food. They miss your cooking or something like that. So instead of looking at things in a negative way, or things in a way where it's like a burden, look at your marriage as a blessing, and look at your spouse as a blessing, and do the things that, you want to do in order for, your marriage to succeed, regardless, no matter what that may be.
Indeed. Matter of fact, I'm reminded of something that one of my favorite Instagrammers was talking about. She was talking about relationships and stuff. She said that we express things differently, and we do. We know this, right? So men in general want to feel needed and appreciated. So they want to be appreciated and feel needed. Not meaning you're a needy woman. Not that. No. But needed. Not like I can do this myself. I'm a strong, independent black woman. I can blah, 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 blah. Cool. Go ahead with your strong, independent black woman. Say, help me move the refrigerator. All right. So, all right, jump. But listen, to be appreciated, show me appreciate them. Demonstrate that. That you need them. That's it. It's not much more difficult. Women, yeah, they need to be needed and stuff as well. But women want to be loved and heard. We express these different needs in different ways. So there's just some basic general tips, not the same all across the board for everybody all the time. No, that's foolish to even think so. However, for example, when we talk about seduction, all right, there's a general rule. Men are seduced by the eyes. Women are seduced by the ears. So many times you will hear of marriage challenges and issues where he said this, he's going to do this, not that. He said, you were seduced by your ears. He told you what you wanted to hear. Okay? All right, where men are seduced by the eyes. They see certain things and whatnot. All right, general principle stuff. There can be their anomalies, but if you want to make him, or if you want to be a better wife, one, understand the rule of seduction. Two, understand appreciation and needing. So, prayerfully those help. The Instagrammer, by the way, Erica Lachey. That's good stuff. All right, we have a few more questions that we're going to try to get to. So, Joseph says, first, Wassalam SN. Watching from London in the UK. I don't know what that guy was weird. I don't know what that was. Mixed Jamaican. I don't know. Anyway, so do you have to be here to join any courses? No, you don't. You don't. It actually helps you become better when that time comes. And some people are taking as part of premarital courses as well. So we've had that. We have done 10 workshops, for example, where I teach on going from boyhood to king. And wives teach on really got to be a woman. It's kind of been called a rites of passage. So we had 10 workshops that we do. You don't have to be married. You can be single, of course. So, but with an intention to get married, really develop those types of relationships, prayerfully. Joseph says, one of my concerns with marriage second wife is dealing with the in-laws. What are the Islamic obligations for housing, taking care of in-laws? How do each of you deal with these issues? All right, Joseph, really quickly, we're not going to give you a fatwa. We're going to suggest that you go to someone qualified to do so, if that is of your concern. From what I know of that, my in-laws get my respect. I don't have any housing obligations for them, only their daughter. So, yeah, that'd be it. So I don't have that, but you can go research a little bit more when it comes to fiqh. We're not here to give you any fiqh rulings or anything like that. So, but from what I understand, you got to take care of your wives and your children and so on. But taking care of my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, all of that would fall under the category of charity. Okay, so that's my understanding. Phillies represent the day. I need to ask, how can a wife stay positive about polygyny? I've had 2 different co-wives already in my 3-year marriage. First thing I'm going to suggest is find out if you already had two different co-wives, now it sounds like they're past tense, maybe like they're no longer around. So you had two different co-wives, or I don't know, or maybe there are currently three. I don't know, but look to the different qualities you want in a happy, fulfilling marriage with your marriage. That's the thing. You want to be happy in your marriage with your husband. I don't know what your husband's doing, whether they're doing it right, doing it wrong, Allah, I don't know. But you would have a better idea. You may not even know, but you would have at least a better idea because you're married to that person. Okay, so look for the qualities that you want in a happy, fulfilling marriage and focus on minding your specific marriage. Because it's not a question of really having different co-wives. Those are his other marriages. And his other marriages, and their success or failure don't depend on you and what you're doing, nor should they affect your happiness or not. The only thing that might affect you is if he's hurt about something or whatever, and you're trying to console or deal with that. But that's just my piece right there. If you don't want to chime in there, because y'all the ladies.
Well, she's saying no there.
That's what it said. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. See what's up. You know, sometimes, listen, sometimes there are people that have been married 10, 15, 20 times, and they always have an excuse that it's the other person. But after that many times, is it really the other person? Now, I don't know about your husband stuff. I'm not implying anything, but sometimes we do have to look at the source. Okay, we're all adults here. We have to look at the source and to look at, am I getting what I want? And am I trying to cultivate what I want in a relationship? So just look at those different things, because they just might not have been the right people, and it is what it is. Maybe you want polygyny more than him. Or you might want to look at it a certain way or have a friendship with things that come across, and you have to ask ourselves, is that something realistic, or should I even do that? Or am I setting myself up for failure there? And I just looking for a friendship, and I can find another sister to be a friend with that's not married to my husband. You know, so hopefully that helps. I know we have a few minutes, so we won't pick it up. Sister says, do you guys be around each other all the time?
No.
All the time, meaning every single day,
I don't
every waking minute of every hour. No, we around each other. I mean, I don't know. That's relative. What a lot or whatever. At least a couple times a week.
You know, we got the
He's
family meet.
around us all the time, but we're not around each other all the time.
Right. No,
We see him every day.
again, if we just in this frame that you're looking at, we couldn't fit all the kids that live on our roof. So no.
No, and it's crazy. I think sometimes people wonder that, because it's like, okay, well, how are you so happy, or how are you so whatever if you be married to the same man and you around each other a lot, so I think sometimes it depends on, they want to see what the dynamic is that can possibly, maybe create, this happiness. But the happiness and the joy and enjoyment comes from you and what you want your relationships to look like. So whether we saw each other every single day or we saw each other once a month or whatever the case may be, because we enjoy being around each other, speaking to each other and things like that, we're going to have a great relationship.
Yeah, and we're so busy too, guys, because we have a lot of kids. We have a lot of kids to parent, and some of our kids are grown, so we have to check in on them, see what they're doing and stuff like that. So our schedules are very packed. So we're always doing something purposeful for our family every day, every single day.
And you don't want to be around somebody all the time anyway like that. Not saying that you're implying, but no, we all need our own me time too, as the brother asked a little earlier. But yeah, we adults. So yeah, here's what it is. All right, so sister says, my ex-husband was always around, it was about that second wife life. We went about it wrong though, and I can't even hear others talk about or really hear the idea of it. The guy I'm considered for marriage may get a second wife one day. His father has 4. What can I do now to be more open to it? It just puts me, it just pains me, even when I had no one to consider to marry. I don't want to deny his rights.
I think what Coach Nyla did was get educated. She studied a lot, and she was invested a lot in personal development every day. And I think that having that positive outlook, because it's a lot about what you tell yourself.
Mm-hmm. Your mindset.
I'm telling you.
It's definitely your mindset. If you want to, you will. If you don't, you don't. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. I mean, that's the simple form of saying it. If you want to, you want to. If you don't, you don't. However, it will take time. We're not saying that as soon as you make the decision that you want to, it's going to be overnight. It's just that if you make the decision that you want to be more understanding of it and you want to be more open to it, that's the decision you make, and then you say, okay, well, I'm going to work towards being more open. I'm going to work towards knowing what it's about and what it entails and things like that, and not let my past experiences be the driving force into how am I feeling now. It was one thing that I heard before is like, don't allow your past to be the thing that fuels your present. Don't let that be the thing, because, what do you say?
Your
You say
past doesn't require you, your future does.
Your past don't need you. My co-wife said that, like, my past don't need me, but my future does. So the past is the past.
Yeah.
You can't get that back. You can't undo that, but you can work on yourself in the present to have a better future.
And if you want to be in polygyny, the decisions you make surrounding that decision have to support it, So you can't say in one breath, I'm all for it, and then you sabotage everything that pushes you toward it, So when we say something, we got to stick to it and be consistent on it, So,
So when I'm getting that,
you're cracking up the comments.
You favor one wife over the other. Do I?
I don't think so. I think so.
You're minding your own marriage.
Right.
No, you know what?
I was just
No, you don't. All right, I don't favor one over. I don't know really what that means. One, that's a sin in Islam to do. All right, first of all, I do this or that. No, you got to be just, and as a man, you got to be just. If you cannot be just, then you're not. Then you shouldn't marry more than one to begin with. All right, so that's very important. But a really good question. Joseph says, if you only recommend 5 books for men to improve the financial IQ and marital life, what would they be? All right, so there's 2 different topics. We kind of mixed them in together, like financial IQ and marital life.
Right,
all right,
exactly.
All right, 5 books. IQ and marital life. I would say financial, you got to do Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's like fundamental. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Then I would say Today Matters, John Maxwell. Winning with People, John Maxwell. And then I would say Results by Saeed Zaidi. That ties it all together.
So I would add Marital Life. I would add The Argument-Free Marriage by Fawn Weaver because it's that is what's up.
Okay, so we're about to wrap it up. We got 2 minutes left. So if you have some questions, a bunch of question marks, ask the question. If we can get to it, that's what's up. If you already have some, we might not. But you can find us at outstandingpersonrelationships.com. Join the email list. Join our memberships on YouTube or outstandingpersonrelationships.com/RM for our relationship mastery. See if I missed something. I'm getting that heat from the family. You cheat to the car. Favorite spot is sometimes the Wi-Fi is great too. You good to go then. All right, sister says, I was in a monogamous marriage for 20 years. He passed away and I remarried. My new husband is so amazing to me that I want to be amazing to him. Do you have a suggestion of any books that I should read as this is to me? The books I just said, like Today Matters,
Today Matters.
Winning with People,
oh my God.
those whole nother level. Johnson Max was especially on leadership and everything as well. The 5 Love Languages.
Yes.
All right. The Charge is really good by Brendan Burchard. Okay. Argument-Free Marriage. The 7 Principles to a Happy Family Relationship, or whatever.
Yes. 7 Principles of Happy Marriage or something like that.
Yeah. So if you, first of all, and then you should be getting our book too. So be looking for that. Make sure you're on the email list, because those who are on the email list are going to be able to get kind of pre-sale info and pricing and stuff like that for free. So that's going to be really smooth. That's called Let's Talk Polygyny. But those are some good books right there. But if you follow what we're doing on YouTube, we put a lot of different book recommendations. Matter of fact, in our RMIC membership, I have a list that I did with the training that I did earlier today that I'm putting. Some of them are ebooks as well. So again, invest in yourself. Now, some people aren't book people, like the physical books. I love physical books over the digital books. There are digital books, there are ebooks, there's audio books like Audible, and I've come to find that you can find a lot of free audiobooks have been uploaded to YouTube. So like the book Today Matters that I mentioned, you can go start listening to that today, and it's read by the author. I love the books that are read by the author versus hiring somebody else to read it, because you can really feel the energy and stuff with it. So John C. Maxwell books are there, and it's super dope, especially driving, traveling, and you can listen to them at a quicker speed if you need to. So constantly investing yourself in that personal growth is really what makes the difference. It's like a shower. All right, yep, we all shower today. We good today, but try to go 3-4 days without it. It's going to be a problem. And your personal development, your growth, and your marriage is the same way. It's like taking care of a garden. You can have the most beautiful flower seeds, and you plant them, it's all great. You walk away from it, you're not pruning it, the weeds are going to grow, going to choke to death. Choke the life out of your doggone flowers, no matter how good it was supposed to be. You got to take care of pruning your garden. All right, you don't need to practice negativity. Negativity is going to come from around you, from on TV, from other people, from whispers, from your devices, all over the place. So having that personal development allows you to have more self-awareness and to be present at all times. So I'm present. I know I said we're going to wrap, so we're going to go ahead and do that. How do you get on the email list? Go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. Download our 5 keys to a fulfilling marriage, especially in polygyny, and you are on the list. And if you want to join our private Facebook group, which we're streaming in right now, it's called Let's Talk Polygyny on Facebook. So go search Let's Talk Polygyny or facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Polygyny and join us there. So we appreciate you all. Appreciate all your salams from all over the world. Again, let us know whatever topics you want to talk about and discuss. All right, if you want to get closer and be more serious about your learning, your personal growth and development, join some of our courses that we have, whether it's on YouTube or on our website. We prefer the website because YouTube gonna get their 30% either way it go, and they don't allow us to give you the worksheets and all the rest of the stuff and the downloads that we want to give you. So check us out on the site. So anyway, we appreciate you. Any closing thoughts? Any closing things before we check out?
A couple of things, people on YouTube as well. Make sure you click that subscribe button and that bell, because we do upload videos on Mondays and Thursdays. So yeah, you want to make sure you get some good information and not miss the notifications or not miss the uploads. And yeah, make sure you constantly are practicing GLC, that you're growing intentionally, you're loving fearlessly, and you're connecting on a higher level every single day. Until next time.
All right, there's a question I missed.
Okay, you missed the question.
30-second answer, because Aiden already signed out. I'm like, because it's important, really because it's important. This says, when I asked you when you married your second wife, how did you manage the financial question? Who would take care of the bonus children? Did you take the responsibility for them as well, or no? Okay, that's the question. Very important question. That's why I had to kind of do the pause. We had to fall back. Yeah, all of the children, all dozen of these children are my responsibility. All right, my biological children, my non-biological children, it's my responsibility. I don't think that when I look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ and the children that he raised, he was a father, he was a stepfather, and he was all of these different things in his house, and he didn't treat them any differently. All right, so much so that even his friends thought that he loved them more than anyone else, to be surprised only when they asked him who did he love the most, that he had said, he didn't mention the companion who asked him. But yeah, they're under my authority in the home and everything else. It's my responsibility. I don't believe in pushing somebody off to the side and everything else at all. It's about family. All right, and building that nucleus and being the leader of that family, despite knowing that they have other fathers, whether those fathers participate or choose not to participate, they know that the children are good. All right, so that's a trust that I take seriously, and that's important. So, and that wasn't a question, and I'm pretty sure if that was an issue, that we would, the marriage likely we wouldn't even got married. Like, who's gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna marry you, but them kids, I already know about them. You know what I'm saying? That's not really gonna work. That's not being a man of value or being a king. Sometimes people think they're married to kings or whatnot, but it's demonstrable. You should be able to demonstrate it and see it. And if you're not talking about taking care of your children and the children that you're responsible for in your own homes, that are children of your wives, that's not king stuff. There are other words for it, but we're gonna end on a positive note. So you're gonna close out again, are we good?
Go ahead.
No.
Coach Fatimah.
GLC. No. GLC. Grow intentionally. Love fearlessly.
And connect on a higher level every single day.
Sound like a peace. Don't it?
This is a good question.
on this thing. This is Facebook. What is this?
You ain't got it yet? Oh, it's
Screen, so I'm like,
Oh, yes.
okay.
Oh, that's right. Oh, no, this is a live stream. Hey, y'all still here with us? We out. Wrong
I'm
screen.
like, where is it?